Hello listeners and viewers, welcome to Kaduna State Ministry of Education Radio and TV e-learning program designed for our SS3 and other students staying at home due to the coronavirus pandemic. The present administration under the able leadership of His Excellency, Malam Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai, is positioned as always to ensure that under his leadership, our students are not left behind in all areas of human endeavors, especially education. Kaduna State is the center of learning. Therefore, we want to ensure that our students excel in their forthcoming examinations and beyond. Students and other learners at home are given this opportunity in order to continue learning, as education is a continuous process. Different subjects will be taught in this program to assist students to perform excellently in the forthcoming Senior School Certificate examination being conducted by NECO and WAEC as soon as schools reopen. Teachers making presentations will always provide their names and phone numbers during each presentation, and they can be contacted for questions, further explanations, and/or clarifications. The following numbers and contacts can also be reached for expression of any concern or observation: 090-865-00545 or 080-383-62072. Our website is www.education.kdsg.gov.ng. Our email education@kdsg.gov.ng or education.kdsg@gmail.com. Our YouTube channel, Ministry of Education, Kaduna State. Our Twitter handle @Kaduna_MOE. Or our Facebook page, Ministry of Education, Kaduna State. Stay safe, stay at home, and learn well. Thank you, happy listening, and happy viewing.
Hello students, you are welcome to another edition of Kaduna State Ministry of Education e-learning program. I am Rekia Lawal Othman. I'm here to teach history. And our topic of discussion for today is the Hausa system of administration, which is under Hausa states. If you could remember, we have discussed so many empires and kingdoms during this program. We have learned about the Oyo Empire. We have discussed the Benin Kingdom, the Sokoto Caliphate, and today we are on the Hausa states. By the 18th century, the Sarauta system has been well developed in Kasar Hausa, and it was being practiced by all the states. By this time, 18th century, the Hausa states have already established and developed their own kind of administration, and it has been practiced by all the states. Each Hausa state has a king, like we have mentioned in Oyo or the Yoruba land. They have Alafin. In Benin, they have Oba. Nupe, they have Esu. And here in Hausa land, we have the Sarki. He is the king of the state. Succession to the throne was hereditary, basically among the ruling class chosen by the Council of Elders. For you to be a Sarki, you have to be from the ruling class. You have to be from the royal family. And you have to be chosen by the kingmakers. They are Council of Elders, which differs from each state. The Hausa people did not establish an empire under a single overlord, but dependent of one another. The Hausa state was not ruled by only the Sarki, but dependent on each other. There are other official offices that helped in carrying out the administrative activity of the area. Under Hausa system of administration, that is under this topic we are to study today, we are to study the central government, the local government, and also briefly we are going to talk or discuss the achievements of Queen Amina of Zaria. So these are the three subtopics we are to study under the administration of the Hausa state. Under the central government, on the top political hierarchy was the Sarki. As I have said earlier, Sarki is the king. He has the highest office, highly respected and obeyed as a God-chosen servant. He is well respected by the Talakawa and other aristocratic family. He is obeyed by them. They see his words or his rules as the final say. His duty was to maintain peace within his domain and also to protect the people and state from external invasion. He is to maintain peace, make sure the state is always in peace, and also protect them from any external attack. He controlled the economy through taxes. The Sarki is like the Minister of Finance on himself. He controlled the economy by looking after the collection of taxes, the jangali, the cattle tax, so on and so forth. There are the Council of Elders known as the King Makers. As I have said earlier on, the Sarki comes to throne through election or selection by the Kingmakers. And these Kingmakers are responsible for selection of a new Sarki. In Katsina, the Kingmakers we have the Waziri, we have Endaka, Kaura, and Galadima. These four officials, Council of Elders, are responsible or were responsible for the selection of a Sarki in Katsina. In Kano, it comprises of Madaki, Sarkin Bai, Makama, and Sarkin Dawaki Mai Tuta. When you look at it, they differ, different chiefs or different elders from different states. These are the ones, or these were the ones responsible for the selection of Sarki in Kano. While in Zazzau, it included Waziri, Fagaci, Makama Karami, Limamin Gari, and Limamin Kona. These were the ones responsible for the selection of Sarki in Zaria. Let's look at this selection of Sarki in Zaria as a case study. There are 5 that are responsible for this selection of Sarki. As I have said, each of them, the 4, that is Fagaci, Makama Karami, Limamin Gari, and Limamin Kona, have a vote in selecting a Sarki, while Waziri has 2 votes. This brings 6 votes. In a situation whereby a winner did not emerge after the selection, meaning there is draw, the Waziri is given another slot to vote for a candidate of his choice. This shows how important the Waziri is in selection of Sarki. Let's look at the features of the system. That is the key officials that hold offices and help in the administration of the Hausa states. Waziri. The Waziri is head official or a prime minister. He is like a prime minister who is selected among friends and close associates. But remember, Waziri is not from the royal family. He served as a special advisor to the Sarki. He is not from the royal family, but he holds a very important post. Madaki is next to Waziri, who is commander of the army. The Madaki is responsible for important ceremonial duties and summoning councillors to meetings. That is the Madaki. And usually, especially in places like Zaria, Madaki is chosen from the sons of the Sarki. Usually, the first son of the Sarki is made the Madaki. We have Galadima. Galadima too usually comes from the royal family or the royal blood. He is administrator of the emir's palace. He is responsible. He supplied the necessary military weapons and fundings. He is responsible for the supply of these weapons that are meant for the army. Next, we have the Ma'aji. In some places, he is called Ajia. In Zaria, we call him Ajia. He is like a treasurer. He was like the minister of finance. The Ma'aji is the ones that takes care of the emir's treasure. We have the Sarkin Fada. Fada in Hausa means palace. So Sarkin Fada is the head of the palace officials. Then we have a title known as Sarkin Power, who is the official head of butchery. Then we have Sarkin Yari, who is responsible or the head of the prisons. We have Sarkin Dogarai. Dogari is a bodyguard. So when we say Sarkin Dogarai, we mean the head of the royal guards. Then we have the Sarkin Ruwa. Sarkin Ruwa is responsible for the rivers, fishing officials. He is in charge of any activities that takes place in the riverine area. We have the Magatakarda. The Magatakarda is just like a secretary to the Sarki, who is in charge of all the memos. Any letter that is being written to another state or a memo that has to be written, the Magatakarda is responsible for this office. So the Magatakarda has to be a little bit literate in order to be able to perform his duty properly. We have Turaki. Turaki is in charge of the royal chambers. And also Turaki is chosen from the sons of the emir too. Turaki is from the royal blood. He is in charge of the royal chambers. We have Sarkin Bai. Bai comes from the word Bai, meaning slaves. So Sarkin Bai is in charge of the royal slaves. The whole slaves in the council or in the emirate are under the Sarkin Bai. We have Sallama. Sallama is a receptionist. Before you are able to see the Sarki, you have to pass through Sallama. You have to book your appointment with the Sallama, and the Sallama is responsible to go and introduce you to the emir or to the Sarki. So the Sallama is the receptionist. With the coming of Islam, we have Al-Qali, who is interpreters of the Sharia law. The Al-Qali or the Qadi are responsible in conducting majority of the trials. In places like Katsina, we have Baraya. Baraya is a title that is not in the whole other states, but we have Baraya in Katsina, who is in charge of the stores. So this is how the central government was being ruled, administered by these key officials. Each of them has an office which they dedicate themselves and do their work properly. Let's look at the local government. The local government is a smaller unit or a district under the state. The local government was in the hands of district and village heads known as Hakimi. The Hakimi is chosen by the Sarki. Usually, Hakimi can be either from the royal family or from the aristocratic family or friends of the royal family. They are in charge of their own district. Some of the activities or duties of the Hakimi, he is also in charge of collection of taxes under his own district. He collects taxes from his district, but mind you, Hakimi is always answerable to the Sarki. All he does, he has to take permission from the Sarki because the Sarki appoints the Hakimi. Another duty of a Hakimi is maintenance of law and order. The Hakimi makes sure his district maintain law and order. He also protects them from external attacks, external invasion, and if there is any dispute in his area or in his district, the Hakimi is responsible of settling this dispute under his own power. Apart from this, to these offices, the Sarki could and did appoint members of the royal or other aristocratic family to be the Hakimi. The Hakimi in return appoints ward heads, that is the Hakimi at his own level can appoint his own other smaller offices that will help him to discharge his duty properly. This office or these ward heads are known as Dagachi. Dagachi is in charge of the ward head in order to oversee the activities of the community. He is answerable to the Hakimi since he is being appointed by the Hakimi. And the Hakimi, as I have said, is answerable to the Dagachi. The Dagachi too, at his own level, can or is responsible of settling smaller disputes in his own domain. This is how the administration or the system of administration in Hausa states are being carried out. Now, let's look at the achievements of Queen Amina of Zaria. Queen Amina of Zaria was born in 1533. Her father was Nikatau, who was the 22nd ruler of Zazzau. Nikatau was the father of Queen Amina of Zazzau and also a descendant of Bayejida. As I have said, he was the 22nd ruler of Zazzau. And her mother, Bakwa Turunku, was also a Sarauniya. Queen Amina of Zazzau was the first female queen in the northern Nigeria, that is in the Hausa states. Queen Amina ascended the throne after the death of her brother, Karama. He was her elder brother. When he died, she ascended the throne. But before then, Queen Amina, since she is from the royal blood, was already acquainted to the activities of the royals in the domain. She do escort her grandfather to the courts. She sees how they administer their system. In 1576, that was when she became the Queen of Zazzau Kingdom. She was a great warrior who conquered vast area stretching from Katsina, Kano, Bauchi, and Jukun. Queen Amina was a great warrior. In fact, anytime we say Queen Amina, this is one of the features that we remember her of. She made sure she expanded Zazzau Kingdom into other northern states like the Bauchi, Kano, Katsina, and Jukun. She controlled the trade route from Gonja and forced the Nupe, Igala, and other tribes around Niger-Benue Conference to acknowledge her lordship. As a great warrior, she made sure she expanded her power. She expanded the kingdom that is the Zazzau Emirate into Nupe land, the Igala. They all acknowledge her governance, her lordship. She was the first to introduce metal armor in war, known as sulke. Most of her pictures, maybe you must have seen it, she used to have this sulke on. It is a metal armor like a cap she wears, made of iron, in order to protect her face or to protect one during the wars. So she was the first person to introduce this sulke in the area. She was credited with ordering of construction of a distinctive series of ancient Hausa fortifications, that is walls. These Hausa fortifications are known as Ganwa. She was the one that introduced this construction of Ganwa in all the Hausa states. This Ganwa can still be seen today because it is used in protecting the Zaria Emirate from the Zaria territory from external attack. Till today, we could see some of these Ganwa still in existence, like the Kofar Kuyambana, Kofar Doka, Kofar Jatau, Kofar Kibo. They are all Ganwa that I'm sure are still in existence in Zaria. This is one of her greatest achievements. She also introduced the cultivation of kola nut in the area. This cultivation of kola nut led to the efficiency of trading activities in the area. Queen Amina got married to different men who were found slayed a day after the wedding. She married different men, but a day after the wedding, each of them is found dead. They never live to tell the story, so nobody knows what killed them, what happened to them, but anyone she marries die a day after the wedding. Finally, Queen Amina died in a battle. She was a great warrior, and she ended up dying in a battle in Idda in 1610. These were the achievements or contributions of Queen Amina of Zaria in Zaria Emirates. Now, you're welcome to the assignment segments. These are questions I would like you to look at and answer them properly, because they are all from what we have discussed. Number 1, list and explain 10 features of the administration of the Hausa states. We have explained or discussed about 15 features. Out of the 15 features, not necessarily hierarchically, you are to mention or list any 10 and explain them. Number 2, briefly explain 4 achievements of Queen Amina of Zaria. Let me go over the assignment again. List and explain 10 features of the administration of the Hausa states. Number 2, briefly explain 4 achievements or contributions of Queen Amina of Zaria. For you to send your assignment, answers, or any contributions or any question, you are to reach me on my WhatsApp number 08037882650. 08037882650. I remain Rakia Lawal Othman. Stay home, stay safe, keep learning. Corona is real. Thank you.